Welcome back, my fellow friends and humanoids. That was good. I usually do that. That's nice. That was cool.
Switched.
That made me happy. What's going on, man?
How's it going?
We're talking good. I think we're going to talk about selling consignment.
Ooh.
It's an interesting thing to do in these days and age. So there's all sorts of ways to sell your guitars. So a lot of folks want to, they'll sell them directly to a store. They'll sell them on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. Reverb has become the thing. There's this old-fashioned thing called eBay. You have to have a dial-up modem for that to work, though, so be careful.
Do you remember when you would get on eBay in the old days, and there were those programs that would snipe the thing? It would wait to the last second, boom, and when you were bidding on things, and you'd be I'm winning. Oh.
That's like son of a gun, like on The Price is Right. That's always like, I'll bid $101.
Right,
I'm like, you are such a jerk.
Yeah.
Who does that? That's such a jerk. I feel like that should be illegal.
Should be.
You should have to be at least $10 over to give it some anyway. So selling consignment is something that people do when because if you're selling to a shop, the shop's going to offer you X amount, usually less if they're buying it outright, more if they're offering it to you with a trade. But sometimes it sort of sits in that middle part where it's like, I want to get the most for this guitar.
I don't want to deal with shipping it myself or eBay
and I don't want to trade it. Right. I just want to sell consignment and get some money. So in general, shops charge anywhere all over the place. Anywhere from, I've seen shops charge 50%, which I think is a little bit crazy high, to 40 to 30. Some is a little bit less. 20 is sort of unheard of, but I think it sort of sits in that 30 to 40 range is sort of consistent. And so expectations of selling consignment and how it works and whatnot is what we want to sort of talk about. So you want to start us off at all, or should I get into this a bit?
So let's get into it. Because a lot of times people come in and they want to do consignment and they have an idea of what they want for their guitar, but they have forgotten that if we're going to sell it and list it and ship it, that we actually need to make a little bit of money as well. Right.
Okay. So that is something to it's not just well, here's a free guitar for you guys at the shop. You get to make money with it. No, it's like
people will look at this guitar in your shop. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great exposure.
No, it all breaks down time management and accessibility of how you manage your inventory, your time, and your cost flow at a shop. So when we get a new piece in, we have to, we're gonna take pictures. We're gonna write descriptions. We're gonna make sure the guitar works. This is not EB Games or whatever, GameStop, where you sell a game and they don't even test it. They just sell it to the next person.
Good luck.
If it doesn't work, you can return it, but you're now the tester. Now, we have to make sure this guitar works when it leaves our facilities because that's our reputation.
Sure.
And then we do a full thing on it, and it takes a little time.
Sure.
It takes time away from working on other guitars that you can sell. So that is part of what and you have wider audience as a guitar shop.
Yes.
Usually.
Right.
We have a pretty good audience.
That's why you would consign it, right? Because, probably more people are looking at the shop's Reverb page or whatever.
Risk.
Yes.
Because there's credit card fraud, there's breaking and shipping. There's just some unscrupulous folks out there, too, that it's something could just happen and the guitar disappears. The shop is responsible for it at that point.
We also have a finite amount of space. That space on the wall that guitar takes up is worth something to us.
Unless you're one of the guitar shops that literally has empty hooks all over the walls right now. Which
maybe that's slightly different at the current moment, but generally,
we're filling up again right now, which is pleasant, and we're about to get a gaggle of custom shops and things hit, and PRSs are coming in at a clip, which is nice. But no, consignment. So you have to be. That's part of the issue. Now let's be realistic about prices too. So that's why you get a 30% sort of hit on it.
Right.
And let's say you want to sell the guitar for $10,000.
Yep.
I just chose that number because it seems like a fun number to choose. If you have a $10,000 guitar, congratulations. You probably don't, is the answer to that too. That might be the idea. We've had this happen recently with somebody, a very nice young person. Well, she's older than me, but I like to call her young because it makes me feel good about myself. But in her mind, the guitar was worth $10,000. But in reality, this guitar is not worth $10,000. And we explain that, and when we list something, we'll say we might list it for that initially, but we're not going to sell it for that. We have to have room to come down. Let's say we're going to sell this thing for $7,000 or $6,000 in that area is where the close might be.
Right.
And they will say, okay. So you usually have a contract we have them sign that gives us room to negotiate there because we cannot, in general, when we're selling consignment, a lot of times it might be cash offer on the spot. We want to be able to close the deal for the owner of this piece without having to wait for approval because they might not answer their phones.
Right, and we need to know what that lowest threshold is.
And if you're not if you're not amenable to being realistic about this, you should not be in the consignment market at all.
Right.
And a lot of folks are like, I think this guitar is worth X, and that's what I'm gonna get. It's like, as a shop, you just have to be able to say no. It's not, and like we do that pretty regularly.
We do.
I'll be like, it's not worth that. That's what you think it's worth, and you might have looked up on the internet and you think you saw one for that. It's probably selling in, some small town in Italy for $10,000.
Or it's listed for that.
Right, exactly.
Which is such a different thing than sold for. Listed and sold, they could not be farther apart. We get that a lot. People say, these, I see all these selling for X amount, and then I look it up on Reverb, and they are listed for that amount, but nothing has sold for that amount.
Correct. And that's a huge difference. And that that's the beautiful thing about, Reverb's a wonderful program right now. Reverb.com has all their previous sales recorded back to the inception of Reverb on that piece.
On the little graph.
The price guide. Just check out the price guide on Reverb. It's a phenomenal thing to help track it. We use that as part of our tracking.
Sure.
We comp with multiple sources and what we've seen the market playing ourselves. Right. But use Reverb. It's a really realistic, because you'll be like, this guitar I think is $10,000, sold in 2015 for $2,000. I saw it sold in 2017 for $3,800. I saw it sold in 2019 for $4,000. I see an upward trajectory of it, but it's still not even half of what
it's not there. You
think. So just to be realistic.
Right.
Now the expectations, I think, as well for you on the shop is that the shop should market it.
Yep.
The shop should have it for sale.
Yes.
It should not be lost in the back closet somewhere, which can happen sometimes with shops. We've seen it happen from Guitar Centers to us. We got a huge influx of pieces come in, let's say 25 guitars came in one day.
Yeah. And
we had a consignment come in the same day. The consignment might not get priority.
Right.
Unless, of course, it is a $10,000 guitar. This cool vintage piece.
Depends on how excited. Yeah, right.
We try to give it priority, but sometimes if it's if it's a lower cost piece, you should probably just try to sell it outright and get it. If it's under $200,
absolutely
sell it.
Sell it.
Don't worry about the consignment. So expectations, again, the shop should market it. They should take nice pictures of it. They should have it in their store for sale. They should have it on their website for sale. They should also, expectations, upon sale, they should pay you.
Oh yeah.
This is I'm shocked at how many times people don't get paid a lot of times because they'll disappear. Make sure you stay in constant contact with the shop too. Not constant. Don't call them every day. They will give you your guitar back. But check in.
But it's okay to check in
once a month or so if it's not there. We had one of our local gentlemen brought in a couple Gibsons to sell. We sold them within a week, and we had him a check. I had him a check the day. Even one of the persons still paying. He just did a deposit. I gave him a check for his full sellout price, just because he brought in great guitars. He was very conscientious about it, very kind.
Yep.
He had a good understanding of his value. He actually made more selling these two pieces than he paid for them, because he bought them, probably 10 years back, or about 9 to 10 years back, and they've gone up in price. They're good Gibsons.
Yeah.
And he did really well. Make sure you get paid from your shop. So that's, and get it. Don't have.
Seems like common sense, but seems obvious.
No, but we've had some people drop off guitars for repairs, and this is an issue, or drop off for something to sell, and their phone number changes, and we can't get in touch with them.
And then they kind of forget about it.
I've had guitars here for 5 years.
We've also had checks for people for months before where we couldn't get them, and
no, that's why I like getting someone paid off immediately, because it's fun. It's fun to give someone a check. Here's money. And this is another thing with consignment that you can do that a lot of people don't know about. Is let's say your check is someone's giving you $5,500. You sold a lot of stuff consignment. Cool. That's you probably sold about $8,000 worth of stuff to get a check for that big, maybe a little bit less. But let's say you're getting a $5,500 check. Something a shop would love to do with you is to let you sort of spend that in the shop. They will probably offer you more than that if you're going to spend it back in the store. I was going to
say, that's the way to get the best percentage on your end of the deal, is if you're not in a hurry, so you do a consignment, so it's no money up front from the shop, and then you're going to put that back into something that shop has.
That is the Willy Wonka golden ticket on how to get the best.
To maximize,
Maximize effort.
That's right.
Shia LaBeouf.
Critical mass.
Which I love Shia LaBeouf movies. Not as much as Tom Cruise, because he's the dude. No, that is because let's say like you had a $5,500 check, like we might offer you like immediately $6,000 worth of credit. Like you just made $500.
Yes.
Like right there for doing nothing. So your percentage payout on the guitars went up, and you already made a profit on what you paid for them originally.
And you get shiny new awesome guitars. Or beat up relic guitars, depending on your preference.
Yeah, beat up relic guitars.
Yeah.
I don't know why I like that so much.
It's so cool.
Like I get these shiny ones, I'm like, oh, it's a shiny, like a new Fender Custom Shop just came in, it was like all shiny and clean. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I need to drop it a few times, then I'm gonna like it more. Just gotta drag it behind my leaky car.
Hey, there you go. Just let it ride shotgun, it's fine.
Were we talking about that in this video? I think
No, was it this video or last video?
I have no idea. That was like another day. I can't remember.
Might have been another video.
We've been smoking that funny stuff.
Yeah.
Happiness and the joy of living. That's what we smoke, kids.
We pump oxygen in to the casino here. Pure oxygen. That's not true.
I was like, that's not true. I think we were having bourbon last night.
There are casinos that do that.
Really?
And they'll give you free beer.
Oh, well, we're having a big Fender Custom Shop event tonight, so we're going to be
Even better.
drinking lots of beer during that, so that will be fun.
And I never drink beer, so it's a treat for me.
You don't? Is that part of your thing? I was like,
That's a lot.
okay, I was like, is that your thing? Is that like your? Did you give that up for Lent?
What?
Is that what it's called?
No, is that now?
Yeah, it's now.
Oh.
Yeah. So what are you guys giving up? If you're like doing the Lent thing, what are you guys giving up? We'd be curious to know that in the comments too. As a guitar player, so like give up like the Dorian scale
Or picks.
That's actually a good
That's
idea. You get really good at finger picking.
The no pick Lent challenge. I just invented it.
That is on point.
Hashtag.
Fire. Like we invented two things today: the no pick hashtag whatever thing challenge. Lent.
No pick Lent challenge.
Yeah, no pick Lent. That's it. That's a great challenge. I just broke all my nails too, but also in the Willy Wonka like way to get the most out of your consignment is that's totally it's like, hey, thanks for this check. Can I just turn this back in for more goodies from you, young fine guitar keeper,
This
barkeep,
lots of gold nuggets in this one.
guitar
We're dropping
wench.
them.
That's what we call Sean. The
guitar wench.
Guitar wench. Bring me another ale.
Yeah.
That's another one. Like, what are some other things that might be important in consignment? Right? Those are the main
I feel like
ones.
those are pretty good.
So so this is where we're going to open it up to like hopefully you can help like the community out there that's looking at this in the comments because people read these surprisingly. We do too. Sometimes it takes us a few weeks to get back to all of them, and it's usually me sitting there in my strange little Macintosh computer with the tiny keyboard, answering.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea to talk through the shop with. Like I know some people come in and their concern is that we're going to hang their guitar on the wall and the people are going to beat the crap out of it by playing it.
It's a good concern.
It's a very good concern. And we have some people who don't want us to put their guitar in the shop. They want us to list it on our online channels.
Right.
And, we do keep it in the closet.
It goes back in the storage room.
So something to think about. And if it's a good shop, I dare say that most of them, we're not going to let that happen anyways. We're not going to let anybody play your $10,000 guitar, play Wonderwall on it for 6 hours.
Or even your like, $500 guitar.
Yeah.
Like if you're saying, again, like I think that's probably too low for consignment, but if it's the $1,000 threshold, it starts to become that. If you have that, like, it should be taken care of by the shop.
Yes.
And
like if it did not sell and you come get it back and it's in way worse condition, you should expect better than that.
And that reminds me of something funny, just expectations of shop. Because I was on the phone with this really nice guy. He was up in, I think, Minnesota, just 2 days ago during this whole freeze. And he took his shop into he took his guitar into a music go-around. It was a guild. I'm not saying your name. I remember it, but it's a great story. And you were a lot of fun to talk with. So thanks for calling and reaching out. He took it in there. It's freezing. It's 0 degrees. They get the guitar. They open the guitar case. The guitar splits right on the spot.
Oh.
It's an old guild from the 90s, I believe, which were like the good guilds still.
Yeah.
And like, so he calls us like just asking like, hey, what's the responsibility of it? And we talked it through. It's like it's just a bummer. It's a big bummer. Like first off, it's like you probably shouldn't. I was like, you shouldn't be taking your guitar to get set up at music go round. First off.
I mean,
I wouldn't do that. But also in the middle of like a freezing winter storm, I wouldn't do that. But also, the shop, like I was like, appeal to their greater sense of kindness. Maybe they will help you fix the top. I don't necessarily know if it was their responsibility in that case because the guitar shop has to look at it. When you bring it in, because otherwise they don't look at the guitar. They would be responsible for it. You'd be like, oh, this guitar is cracked, and you'd be like, we didn't ever see it. Maybe.
And then you don't.
care.
Yeah,
don't
right.
know.
Yeah.
Now it's an issue. But I think they worked out in an amicable arrangement. I'm hoping. And he was just a cool cat to talk to. Man, I'm just gonna keep talking to this guy because I like him a lot. We'd be friends if you lived right here. Maybe we'll be friends.
You never know.
It's like that strange little hairless dolphin in Florida that we're friends with. Seal, whatever. I'm calling him a dolphin today. He swims in the ocean. He lives down there in the Winter Park or garden or something, and he plays in the Disneylands.
It's true.
Of joy. So Consignment. That's some pretty good stuff there, I think.
I think those are,
the golden ticket. And what was the pick thing again?
No pick Lent challenge.
Hashtag it. Make it a thing. You'll get good at your finger picking.
I'm gonna want credit for that though.
That is good. You need credit. You know what you're gonna get?
It'd be just like John Mayer.
Zip.
That's true.
You get 0 credit.
Hey, I'll know.
Share your stuff. This is a good one. This is useful. Anything else?
I think that's it. Hit like and subscribe if you have not.
So pretty.
Hit the bell so you don't miss videos in the future. We'll see you next time.